Good evening, everybody. It's the Old Wolf again, coming at you live from Rochester, New York. It's 8:01 in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, nonetheless. Yes, time for another episode of the Witch and the Wolf Wisdom Podcast. Been taking a bit of a break past couple of weeks between some things that have been going on within the family. Those of you that know Shiya and follow her on her lives in the mentorship circle and stuff know the dynamic with her mother down in Texas. So as always, Ma, we are sending you love and healing energy, and sister, hang in there down there, and Jack, hold the line, brother, hold the line. So yeah, tonight's episode, the kids are what? Yes, it is a cheeky play off the Who, but the kids really are all right. And I talk about it in abstract ways and sometimes little bits and pieces, but as a father, and especially as a single parent, a big part of my journey has been about the kids. And I think there are a lot of dynamics, especially as we get older, that we forget, we lose touch with, variety of different reasons and stuff. But hey, that'll be part of what the fuck I'm going to talk about. Sister Shiya!
Hey, Shiya.
Hey, listen, I got a whole fan tonight. Usually I only get a half a fan. Now I got a whole fan. And a gamer fan. I saw your thing on your post. You know me, like I suck at fucking social media.
She's skinny, so I think she's a 3/4 fan.
Oh, well, according to the witch, you only get to be a 3/4
Love you, girl.
fan. I don't reply a lot on this. I got to get better with the social media thing and stuff. So I see the post sometimes, and it was really. I saw the post that you had done doing the gaming thing, and I think somebody had made a commentary about a particular game, and you're like, "Oh no, I only play these games." And I remember seeing Fallout in there. And I was like, oh yeah, this chick knows what it's like to come out of the vault and have to deal with some next level bullshit. Okay? Anybody that knows the Fallout series knows that when you come out that fucking vault, it's on. Alright? And it's not like Donkey Kong. You get into some really crazy shit. Good evening, Jess. Great to see you. Hello, everybody. Tonight, it's great to see you. Again, tonight, the kids are all right. Yes, and of course, brother Jonathan shows up. Yes, he's been actually, he has a message because you're not reading. He wanted to reach out to you about your car's extended warranty.
Ah, okay.
So,
yes,
yeah.
Excuse me, Shiya. We have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Listen, the monkey and the scarecrow are playing Skyrim. They got this new modded monstrosity for the PlayStation. So they're running around
shit that they can
doing the Skyrim thing again.
I think the Will has turned
the
his
Dradic stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he's turned
the madness.
Into
the madness.
He's now a chef.
Hey, here's a simple analogy, and since we are talking about the kids all right, for all you parents and for those of you who you want to know how to connect with kids, you got to get on their fucking level. Yep. Okay, so if they're into gaming, you need to fucking game with them. It really is just that simple, okay?
I don't know. Part of me is wanting to play Skyrim again, watching them with all these mods.
I get it. Some people are like, it's stupid, it's this, but I tell you, it isn't just about the gaming a lot of times. There are a lot of dynamics, not only within just the subtleties of interaction, but communication, learning, adaptation. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but, you know, again, simple analogy, the family that plays together stays together.
Which is one of their things, one of the reasons we do D&D every week.
Yeah, well, listen, we game.
We have been having a great time.
We try to the best of our ability. Yes. One day a week, we pull out, and it's family gaming day.
And what were you and Will playing yesterday? You always call it zombies, but...
No. We were checking out the new Modern Warfare Warzone.
Warzone.
Yes.
Yes.
Get your kill on.
Have enough conflict in the world right now.
Ah, yes, and Shiya, thank you very much. You're stealing some of my thunder, but that's okay, because you're one of the people that eventually is going to be on the show. So You know what I mean? It's good to know that you can handle your shit out here. Yeah, absolutely. It is my belief wholeheartedly that one of the biggest mistakes we make as we get older is we forget what it was like, as she has said, being a kid, a teenager.
Yep.
Really, we forget. We become fucking jaded. We become conditioned. You know, again, 1,001 different reasons. But yes, that is part of the dynamic of what happens. So as you can see, for those of you who are actually watching and not just listening, the wolf pack. The wolf pack, again, something I've been talking about the past month or so, and really going to be pushing on this dynamic more. I can keep talking and talking and talking, but it's not always good to just have one voice. That's why Shiya is involved, the monkey's involved. Once in a blue moon, you'll hear the scarecrow come in and scare the shit out of somebody. I've had Tattoo Tony Rodriguez on here. I've had my brother Chris Miller. I've had my mother on here. But we want to have more of the community. So I don't care if it's your original music. I don't care if it's your original poetry. Art. You got a strange or funny story. If you got a gear to fucking grind, whatever the context is, if you're engaged out here with us, just send me an email, and we would really love for you to come on and be a part of it, to be more of a direct part of it.
We
Okay?
want to hear what you have to say.
Well, it's also about,
your stories, your art,
depending upon what the context is. Again, use an analogy, and we're going to start off. I'm going to go backwards, even though if I'm correct and I know how this works with her, she'll show up just as I'm finishing.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Where is Ashley?
My sister, Ashley Hart. She's one of the people that we're going to have come on, and we're actually going to talk, live and stuff. Not just about what she does, Heart's Creations, Dream Catchers with Intention. See how we just snuck that in there?
Yeah.
But she's a personal friend. And I've said this many times, and again, and going to be redundant, but she knows her shit. Okay?
She really does.
Okay? She's an artist, but she has real magic. She has real experience, knowledge, okay, in what she does. Now, one of the things that she and I also share in common, and one of the things that we kind of created a framework last year, and it's kind of been floating out there, is, not a whole lot of it, but the concept, again, was alternative recovery. Because, unfortunately, the world we live in, there's a lot of shit we have to recover from. And I'm not just talking about drugs and alcohol. I'm talking about a whole range, a whole spectra.
PTSD.
Traumas, experiences, this, that, and the other thing. So
narcissists.
Recovery is unique to the individual. And it's difficult because we tend to put things into little subgroups. Okay, alcoholics over here, drug addicts over here, incest victims, we're going to put you in the back of the room. Overeaters, yeah, you guys stay away from the snack bar. We're going to put you over here. It's insanity. Commonality sometimes is the key to being able to sometimes simply just survive moment to moment.
True.
But ultimately, and I talk about this all the time, and again, another one of those redundant moments, strength in numbers. If we don't take care of each other, who the fuck is going to do it? So we believe that in sharing our strength, our experiences, and our hope, our love, that it gives at least a basic roadmap, a sense of hope, a framework, if nothing else. Not that, hey, everything that I do or didn't do necessarily is going to translate, but certain things, yeah, they are what they are. If you ask me how to make, a good batch of some, Italian meatballs and gravy, I know the fucking ingredients.
Boy.
Okay?
Oh, do
you may not agree with a particular amount of this spice or that spice, but there's enough commonality for us to have a conversation. And sometimes that's all that's needed, is for us to have a conversation. So Ashley is going to be one of those people that we're going to be having conversations, not only again about what she does, but about her experiences, her strength, her hope, her magic.
You know what conversation I wish we could have on here?
Which is what?
The conversation you and Will were having the other day over the exact way to make the chicken parmesan.
Yeah, well, that's, that's like, do you beat the chicken or not? That's what that debate was. But that sounds like a Beaver Queen joke right there.
I know.
And, great analogy. She's somebody also, too, that eventually will make a guest appearance on the show, as they say. Brother Jonathan, he and I have already talked about, and he's going to come on, and we're going to have a heavy, deep conversation about the many faces of God. Yeah. Now, again,
that's going to be fun.
Not everything is always about this or that. Sometimes we need to have deeper conversations. Sometimes I just want to be randomly fucking weird. And then sometimes I just want to vent some shit. It happens.
Oh boy. Batten down the hatches.
Now, again, part of this, within the framework of the kids are all right, is the dynamic between those that are younger and then those of us who are, let's just say, not quite as young, okay? And then, you can call that spectrum whatever you want. Yeah, I'm with you. Being randomly weird, to me is real. Yeah. If it, that one-dimensional kind of, Mr. Smith, you know what I mean? That type of shit, that's usually where, at least within the horror movies, some cannibalism's going to go down, some shit's going to crawl out of the third level of hell, or, some other fucked up type of shit. April, we're great. Hey, how are you?
April?
Yes, we're doing good. Yeah, no, tonight's not that kind of night, hon. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Tuesday nights are the Witch and the Wolf Wisdom podcast, which is basically we talk about stuff, we play music. We do, like, again, we were just talking about Ashley Hart and Heart's Creations, but again, like Shiya does, some stuff, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like, I have to keep this is for her.
Oh dear.
She, requires that I have to is kind of a,
I should have deleted that.
A altar thing to her. That's right. Worship that ass. So yeah, the Tuesday night. But listen, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Shiya will be back on doing readings. Okay.
What the fuck Wednesday?
Or you can go check her out at ladyshiya.com.
Yeah.
You can get a private reading, if you'd like. Those things are always available.
Tomorrow.
But yeah, as Gia says, fuck that white picket fence. Yes. Everybody, yeah, it's the same bullshit. Yeah, avail, I call it, that's what real illusion magic is. When you talk about the framework of what most people perceive about magic, there are many different types of magic. Emotional manipulation is a form of magic. It is a dark magic. And it's not something that most people would throw into it because they're thinking, oh, well, that's not the Book of fucking Shadows. Well, this is the problem. We have stereotyped and thrown all these constructs onto things that, again, as Gia said, most of it is bullshit.
Magic takes many forms. From the earwig that you throw into somebody's brain to a glamour to...
And my understanding, people have said, and I've just heard this kind of, whispered around, you're a witch or something, right?
I'm a witch or something.
Why don't you tell us what a witch actually is?
A witch, they call it witchcraft because it's like any other craft. You make things. You do things. You put things together. And in making things and doing things and putting things together, you get to know yourself and the things that you're working with because your main craft is yourself. So which know thyself. And so you're just doing things with the natural world, with the supernatural world to make shit happen and manifest and know yourself. It's not a religion. People are like, oh, witchcraft's a religion. It's all about magic. The magic.
Your God is not here now.
The magic starts within you. And the first concept of witchcraft is witch know thyself. You got to get to know you and how to operate
Well,
with
and
your
also,
own power.
you also have to understand the world you live in.
Mhm.
And Newfoundland, Canada, great.
Oh,
We're
Canada.
right in Rochester, New York. We're right on the other side of Lake Ontario.
We're waving
We
at
have
you.
many friends in Canada. Again, great to have you. Please, hang out, pull up a chair, enjoy. If anything comes across as too offensive, I apologize in the humbleness that I'm sorry, but I'll give you fair warning. We do go a little bit sideways and stuff. And again, nothing, ridiculous. You know what I mean? There's going to be no cannibalism. But, again,
signed up for cannibalism.
if the Beaver Queen shows up, we might have to have another conversation about, artificial flavors and the pros and cons of licking a beaver's asshole. You know what I mean? These are the things that are important in today's world.
These are the things we want to know. But the magic takes many, many forms.
Yes, it does.
In fact, every time you're watching a commercial, you're watching a form of magic, weaponized empathy. People are suggesting this is what you may want.
See, now again, it is a great analogy because most people wouldn't consider that magic. But again, 200 years ago, magic, things that were considered magic are, again, technology today. Okay, radio, internet, microwave.
Tell me how this isn't magic. My baloney has a first name. It's...
Well, I mean, again, that's the whole Pied Piper thing. They're trying to, sing you a lullaby that gets you to go out and buy some fucking baloney.
Yeah, and now...
Again, it's perception.
Jingle in their head.
So before I go too far off the rails, we also have our good friend, Suzanne Delgado.
Yes.
Mystical Moons. Again, great person, really knows her stuff, believes not only within the dynamic of treating people correctly, but also within the framework of love.
Yeah.
Okay? Love is an important dynamic, okay? And I'm not just talking about that mushy kind of, people be like, oh, look, it's a bunch of tree huggers. No, man, I'm just talking about good old-fashioned love, okay? You don't have to get weird about it. Don't get me wrong. You want to get weird. That's your thing.
Wait, let me get the video camera.
Well, again, that's your thing.
Oh, okay.
But some really beautiful stuff. And she has an incredible eye, really, a nose for it. If you're into a lot of the raw crystals. She has lives on Facebook.
She's quite the connoisseur. But you know what else she does? What I find is great is everything that comes into her possession, she makes sure is cleansed and restored to its original intent. So,
well, that's part of her magic. Yeah, you're not just getting a product; you're getting a piece of magic.
The crystals to their original intent. So when you get a crystal, it's chock full of magic and energy.
Chock full of magic. So yeah, check her out at facebook.com/mysticalmoonslive or www.mysticalmoons.com.
Tell her the wolf sent you or Shiya sent you. You can get 20%.
That's right. Blame the witch.
Blame the witch. I have been blamed for many people's predictions.
Hey. We also have our sisters Bobby and Sherry with Moonbeams. Again,
if anybody wants to get me a Christmas present, please get me a bracelet.
We got two powerful witches, really, again, invested not only within the dynamic of what they do, but how it reflects on the people around them. I mean, again, when you engage, when you experience the dynamics, there's an energy to it. It's real, okay? It's just like radiation. It's just like microwave. You can't see it, but it still has cause and effect. So these people that we encounter who have the ability, who have magic, okay, and that's not to say that there isn't magic in everybody, but just like anything else, you have to understand a thing to be able to use a thing. And it really is just that simple.
If you're going to play in the NBA, you better learn how to shoot a ball through a hoop.
Now, again, there's context analogies. There is a simple art and magic to being a drug dealer, if that's all you want to, really shoot for.
Yeah, I guess you're making people happy.
Again, there are levels of things, layers upon layers.
Like an onion?
Like an onion.
Get out of your swamp?
No,
No.
I don't live in the swamp anymore.
You don't live in the swamp?
No, fuck that swamp.
Okay.
But hey, check them out. Moonbeams, Facebook and Instagram. And again, just mention the witch and get 20% off your first order.
Yeah.
And they're definitely people. We've had some really good conversations that will be joining us as we work our way into the new year.
Yes, yes.
And last but not least, my brother, Tattoo Tony Rodriguez, Broken Past.
Yes, gotta love him.
You got the tattoo shop, Under My Skin, tat2.com. And then you got the Papo Sticker Company, which is, the new thing that Tony's been doing.
You can come up with the most unique Christmas gift with Papo.
Listen, Brother Man's making fucking pillows and custom guitar straps and
coffee
mugs,
patches. I love the patches he's doing with the embroidery.
Bumper stickers and car wraps
and custom T-shirts.
And a partridge in a fucking pear tree. I mean, it's amazing.
You have that amazing slogan that you'd like to put on a T-shirt.
Really great, T-shirts and sweatshirts, hoodies and things and stuff like that. He really is. I mean, again, he is the founder and the head of the Under My Skin for Life Foundation, which is the group myself and my son have belonged to for a number of years.
Hey, I'm
every year.
T-shirt from them.
You're wearing one of the old original Under My Skin jerseys that was gifted to me that my girl now wears.
I have appropriated.
And listen, again, a lot of people talk a lot of shit, okay? I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, okay? This is one of the few who continually goes out of his way to do
no kidding.
Shit. Now, he'll bitch and complain about it because more times than not, this is the human equation. People take it for granted and they take advantage of it, but he's still out there doing it.
Yeah.
Okay? He's still making the cognitive effort, not only in doing the tattoo work, not only in running the foundation, not only in being a single father or a musician or a business person, but just simply as a human being. Again, that dynamic of real magic. So, yeah, check him out at any of those locations.
I tell you
what, Tony is an incredible artist. He's an incredible hand. He's got an incredible mind. And I mean, you had a tattoo.
I love my tattoo from him. I did 2 sessions, one the black and white, and then after that the color on it. I am just absolutely blown away by his skill and artistry, and that he made my vision come to life. And I need me some more ink. I need more ink.
Yes, we will be going back down soon. Whether, this is the tricky thing living north of the fucking wall, that
I ain't going
the mountain passes just become shitty, and, that's just, I'm not interested. Neither one of us are interested in becoming statistics. No. So, okay, we're going to get back to really the dynamic. And, well, a big part of what I wanted to do tonight, and again, my prerogative, my fucking show. Sunday was my son's birthday. Okay, and I've talked about this a few times, but I'm going to talk about it again. Up until very recently, it's been me and him against the world. Okay, it really has been. He and I have traveled some heavy roads together, and we've suffered through some shit. Now, I will say again, with very, very simplistic ease, that having Shiya as part of this family has really allowed some dynamics to really blossom within this household. And we reflected upon that over this weekend with, having Thanksgiving and then, his birthday and stuff. And, a lot of the stuff that we've been doing and interacting with has been incredible. It's been very powerful. But this is a dynamic, you know what I mean, that started with me and my monkey. You know what I mean? That is where the story began. Now, like any story, there are lots of chapters and pages within those chapters and characters within those dynamics. But at the end of the day, it's about me and my monkey. So we're going to start off with, happy birthday, you fucking monkey. This is, again, him as a fledgling monkey. And yes, that's me without facial hair. Now,
so weird.
Yes, well, I mean, again.
You're still a cutie.
I was a younger man then. Okay.
You're still cute.
So yeah, some of this is to embarrass. Yeah, no, it's not about me. It's about him.
Didn't he shit in your hand when he was about this age?
He was a little bit younger, and yes, he shit. Did we? Okay, so yeah. So the witch had to play that card. See, this is the great dynamic when you have family elements. She now gets to throw me under the bus with.
Absolutely.
Yes, one time I was holding him and changing his diaper, and as I was holding him, he just gave me a look and shit in my hand, and then kind of giggled and smiled like it was, the best thing in the world he had ever discovered. And I think any parent who's gone through the experience of raising a child in any real sense of the world knows and has experienced baby shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are a few of those stories. Okay. There were. See, now here's the. See, now I'm having trouble speaking because for me, I have the kind of mind that when I flash back like this, I flash back with like smells and taste, and I get real heavy visual dynamics, and I even will I'll get that tingly kind of, hey, get your finger out of my butthole kind of moments. You know what I mean? Where it's an actual physical thing. Just as, unfortunately, this is my curse of my magic. But yeah. Baby shit is a thing, you get used to it. So yeah, he and I kind of, started our adventure early, and, it had its challenges and its interesting moments through the years, having to juggle, obviously making a living and raising, a child. It's like
Shiya,
her boy, decided to take a piss in her purse. Yeah, I've had the just trying to change the diaper and just arc it right.
Every boy does the whole arcing pee thing.
Yes.
And it's you perfect eventually the art of.
Hey, listen, I'm grateful. My youngest brother, has told me stories. He has a couple daughters.
Uh-huh.
And I've heard the horror stories about young female babies, and I'm really glad I got to dodge the bullet on that shit. I'm just saying. Okay?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Clean up for diaper messes. Yep.
Yeah. But hey, these are the sacrifices we make. This is what comes with the fucking territory. So you deal with it. So yeah. So there, again. Now growing up, the little dynamics of things. And yes, some more embarrassing pictures. This is my monkey, and this is his cousin, my niece, my youngest brother's daughter. And as you can see, Buzz Lightyear is already on the scene. He's already ready to defend against whatever fucking evil may arrive. She's got the whole thumbs up. She's like, yeah, I got my defender. And this is a kid from an early age that had a natural dynamic for, I guess you could say, defense. He's always had that kind of knight's attitude about things. Always the kid in the playground looking out for the other kids. He was also the kid that always seemed to have to go after the bully, even when it meant that he got flattened. But, again, as with all things in life, sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of training. This is my younger brother and my monkey training with lightsabers.
Good thing the youngling
Okay.
slayer was not
Yes.
at present.
No. See, we already knew that was a dynamic. So you gotta start them young. Even Yoda said it. Once they're too old, fear leads to the dark side. So that training, was definitely a dynamic, and not just within the dynamic of you know combat training was love. That's my mother. That's the Magda. And let me tell you, the two of them love each other. They have a strong bond. Strong bond.
He's such a happy
And there is a hereditary dynamic of magic and cooking, It's the Romani thing, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say. But yes. And that morose-looking motherfucker in the background was my brother-in-law, Wayne. Brother, if you ever watch this, still miss you. We love you. Hope you find your way back. Go smoke some weed, man. It'll be all right.
Here comes Magda.
Oh, shit. She might have a few stories. Yeah, just like on Booksy. This is what I'm talking about, the magic. All of a sudden, I put my mother's picture up. I start talking about her, and she just materializes in the fucking chat. You see, you can't make this shit up. Either that or I got really good production, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm too cheap to spend money on production. It just is what it is.
Now, of course, I should probably rat the old wolf out and say he did not beat the chicken.
No, I didn't beat the chicken. And we're going to have words about this next time I come down or you come up here. I don't know where these crazy fucking,
Must beat the chicken.
Beat all the flavor out of the chicken. What the fuck? I'm sorry. It's just pure physics. Why would you want to beat the flavor out of something? Okay? I mean, I'm sure that wouldn't work when I come to bed tonight, that if I just decide I want to beat you before I eat you. And I'm going to use that analogy, and yes, ding, I went there.
You don't want my response.
I know I will. I mean, that's why it was a loaded fucking question and a loaded story. And obviously a loaded response. Yeah, my mother's got stories of, like, some of the fucking shit that I pulled when I was younger. Oh, my God.
Oh,
you guys want to have a field day? Just get her on one night and just tell all the fucked up things that I did. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good evening, Jennifer.
And Jennifer, yeah, great to see you. So, yes, there was love, there was combat training, and the combat training, and believe it or not, again, yes, that is the monkey. ROTC, honors. All right. This kid didn't fuck around, okay? He was committed. And him and the guys within his school, they were committed. So usually, a lot of times people will, the football jocks. Let me tell you, those guys on the ROTC, I don't care who you were, you knew better than to fuck with them and Sarge. Okay, they were a cohesive unit, okay? Sarge would send them in like a little fucking strike team, okay, to handle shit in the old school way, and we'll just leave it at that, versus all this politically correct blah, 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 waiting for people to become fucking statistics. All right? And there is a case to be made about that old school context. They built up a code of loyalty, respect, honor, and it was a good experience. But, again, just like his old man, and then the metal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is my favorite, one of my favorite pictures of him from Jeff Crespi. Jeff Crespi is a well-known photographer in the Central Jersey tri-state area rock scene, does a lot of bands, does a lot of venues. This was from a show at the Stone Pony at the Asbury Park when we were with Broken Past and Tony and the rest of the guys. You can see the Broken Past guitar strap, so hey, kind of, hard to hide that dynamic, but why would I want to, there's no reason to hide it. incredibly proud still and humbled to have been a part of that, and still am friends with, pretty much the majority of all those guys and still support them. But yeah, that is the monkey in all his metal glory, shredding it. Now, you can't really tell from the guitar, but that is a Jackson Flying V. It's a Kerry King Jackson Flying V, which is, for anybody who doesn't know who Kerry King is, Slayer. Yes, Slayer, South of Heaven. Now again, not
in
that
the hospital, in the ER, Chris. Sorry to hear that, babe.
Oh, yes. Well, hopefully you will be feeling better.
We'll keep you distracted
why do you have
for a little while.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know why you have Disturbed playing in your head. I don't attribute Disturbed to Slayer,
Disturbed.
but I like Disturbed.
Jonathan likes Disturbed, so he's
but again,
that's probably the scream.
It's a style of guitar with the way the pickups and the neck are set up for playing metal and for playing, to some degrees, fast metal. So yes, we went out and we had a lot of adventures. As you can see here, this was a little bit of our dance into the Southern rock scene with the Marshall Tucker Band. Okay, you can see, yes, the facial hair of the wolf is beginning to show up. And yes, that is the monkey wearing a cowboy hat. Okay. Again, not that uncommon, especially with my background. And also, you can see here, this was from Rocks, Ribs, and Ridges with my brother Chris Miller, who is also, coincidentally, the monkey's godfather. And you can see again him just grinning and enjoying the moment in the shade with his guitar, playing a song. Let's do drugs.
Let's do drugs together.
Let's do drugs.
Let's do drugs together.
No, it really wasn't like that. It was more twangy, as you can see by the hat and the guitar.
I hear banjos. Drive faster.
Hey, don't blame us for the fucking cold weather. That shit came from north, okay?
Yeah, and you can hold on to the weather for us for a little while.
I accept no responsibility for that dynamic.
Somebody said y'all wanted some winter.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to winter. I don't know what to say anymore, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm looking at Colombia as a viable option these days.
Oh,
but I have too much love for this country, and I don't want to give up on it, so I deal with the fucking cold. But yeah, I mean, we could avoid it. Your mom's like, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother fucking hates. Yeah, I know. My mother is sick and tired. I don't blame her. You know what I mean? But hey, listen. You know what I mean? She, again, has been maintaining and taking care of that place down there in Central Jersey for a good number of years. And I can tell some stories about her too.
Oh dear.
Oh, listen. Here's how the dynamic within my household worked. My father was only tough when he was drunk and you were smaller, like a child. Like, he was great bullying children, but when real men showed up into the equation, he tended to shit himself. My mother, however, was fucking out of her mind. And I'm talking the Italian, I survived the 60s, out of her mind, kind of like, oh yeah, I'll just beat the shit out of you with a crowbar. Let him take me to jail. I don't care.
I was gonna say, please don't give her a crowbar.
Well, but again, here's the framework. Context. Okay. Grown man. Now, you know what? Actually, in fairness, that's not fair. Grown scumbag trying to hit on underage child, and said child of crazy mother, and to quote her, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came right out into the front yard with a fucking tire iron and like, I'll fucking kill you right here and now.
Yeah.
Now, again,
protect all of you, she says.
It didn't take long for a bit of that dynamic to spread through said neighborhood. So, yeah, people knew that within a certain dynamic of things, if you fucked around and you played fucked up games, you were going to win fucked up prizes.
You win a tire
now,
iron.
Some of that dynamic, by the way, your grandson has. Okay. So, that's a good thing until he gets shot. And I say that sarcastically, but that's why he stays home and plays video games. Which, to get back to, again, the kids are all right. Let me tell you, if your kids are sitting home playing video games and you think that's fucked up, just turn on the news and take a look at what's going on outside in the streets. Okay? If your kids are staying home playing fucking video games, you're good. Really. Okay? Anything else you can deal with as a baseline. Once they're out of your sight and out there and freewheeling it, okay, all bets are fucking off, man. Okay? I'm telling you, somebody who's lived it from the dynamics of a child going out in the world at a very early age. Okay? And not because my mother fucked up or anything like that, but because I was a fuck up. And I had a father who was a fuck up. And this shit is taught generationally, okay? It's passed down. It is conditioned behavior. Now, I was blessed and lucky to break the pattern so it didn't happen to my kid. But again, I've experienced it, and I've seen the other kids around him as he grew up. And I can tell you again, in no uncertainty, the shit is real, okay? So if your kids are sitting home playing video games, be happy, okay? You can deal with the rest of it, okay? Because things are not really all that conducive out there, okay? They go to a club, they get shot. They go to the wrong section of a fucking town, they get shot. You know what I mean? They get hit by some fucked up, entitled drunk driver. There's 1,001 horror stories, and that's just scratching the surface.
Karen pisses off the wrong person and you're in the shooting zone.
It gets back to what I was saying earlier. You have to be connected, okay? The kids are all right. They really will be, okay? Kids have survived for generations after generations. Obviously, that's how we're here, okay? So the world finds a way. But that doesn't mean you give up or you don't care. I don't believe in that, mentality, and my mother didn't believe in it. It's just like, oh, you turned 18, get the fuck out. No. When they're ready, they're ready. Listen, families used to live 3, sometimes 4 generations in the same household for years upon years.
Which is great.
Okay, it was the ultimate expression of strength in numbers within how we live culturally and societally. You know what I mean? Again, within Western civilizations. But again, we have now, and I've seen stuff between, the New York Times, the Atlantic, Wall Street Journal, that more and more we're going back to that old dynamic because simply it's too fucking expensive for people to survive out there. So unless you're bringing in, decent amount of money, it's not easy.
And by decent amount, I think you're talking triple digits.
And especially if you're carrying any type of student loans or you want to have a car or a cell phone or a cable, let alone be able to go out and do anything.
You want to hear something funny? You triggered a memory in me when you said something about, how people complain about the kids and stuff like that all the time. Remember the show Dragnet? Black and white back in the day?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw reruns by the time, I saw reruns.
Absolutely.
There was a rerun of one where one of the cops is talking to this young man, maybe 19, 20 young man, and giving the whole rundown of how kids are and blah, 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 and how, all these kids, they're rebels, and all you kids, and blah, blah, blah. And you could literally he goes on this rant on how kids are just not what they used to be, and blah, blah,
Every fucking generation says that.
It's the exact same thing from every generation. You could play that.
Oh, listen, again, my mother
always say that about the youngers, but you're right. The kids are all right. They're going to be all right. We were all right. They'll be all right.
Not that, again, that we should not be involved.
No.
Okay? But the kids are all right. Now, listen, some of them aren't. Okay. And if you happen to know someone that isn't, do what you can. Okay. Because again, in the same analogy, sometimes just knowing that you're not alone makes all the difference in the world. But again, generationally, my mother, as she was coming up, they fought the establishment. And, ironically, and, she and I have had conversations about, what the establishment is now. And in many ways, she's more radical now than she was, in the 60s to some elements.
We need to be.
But, well, again, it's context.
Yeah.
But one of the dynamics that has allowed, at least within our family, to survive and to grow, my mother always was involved to the best that she could be. So, if it was something within gaming or when I was younger, taking us out to the music festivals and the bluegrass scene, which is where I learned how to play guitar, or any number of analogies, she set the foundation in a lot of ways for that dynamic in, the families that play together, stay together. And your version of whatever play is, you could play music, you could play games, you know what I mean? It is just about that involvement. It's finding that common ground, that bonding aspect that can only happen when you invest in it. Now it's never 100%. I tell you, there are times, the monkey will be like, hey, check this out. And I'll look at it and be like, that's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen. Let's just never have this conversation again. It's not that I don't love him. It's just like, okay, listen, I get it. He's into, animated Japanese women with tentacles coming out of their vagina.
Oh my God, no, he is
To me, that's just like, ah! But, I love him enough to say, hey, if you're into that tentacle stuff, that's okay. That's a joke, by the way, and I purposely did that so that when he goes back and listens to this, he can have that, oh my God, I'm going to shit myself moment.
I had your back, monkey. I said you didn't.
That my father is talking about
tentacle porn.
His sexuality on the internet for everybody. No.
He's going to kill you.
No. Listen, me and him.
Oh my God, y'all got into an insult war the other day.
Yeah. We fought with each other.
They were in an insult war, and I am just sitting there trying not to snarf my drink out of my nose. I'm laughing so damn hard because I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, man, those two can pull out some burns.
Yeah, but I got him. I nailed him.
He nailed you a couple of times.
Oh, he nailed me too because he's not fazed by it.
No.
You know what I mean?
You did get him finally on one there.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. That's
yes.
Crazy. So what is that bus, by the way?
That bus, we'll go back to it. That is Tony's
I was thinking it was.
Mobile tattoo RV that he used to take out. This is from a motorcycle run. It's called the Bick Run. That's based out of Old Bridge, New Jersey every year. And it's basically for children who have survived brain injuries.
Oh, TBIs are hard.
Yes. So one of the dynamics that the foundation has always been a part of is, dynamics that help children. And, listen, again, it's no coincidence, stereotype or not, that, yeah, Tony's a tattoo artist. A lot of bikers have tattoos. The people that you're tattooing, hey, we're doing a fundraiser for kids. Commonality. But let me tell you something. Again, this goes back to the dynamic of, the kids are all right. It was always and has been a family event. Not everything is the stereotype. Sure, yeah, all right. There's loud motorcycles and rock music and people with long hair, but there were doctors, lawyers, police officers, kids, okay, all having a great time, all united within the dynamic, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, none of that shit mattered, okay? It was all about the dynamic of raising money to help kids within our community that needed it.
You know, the funny thing is if you take a subset of just about every culture subgroup out there and kind of stack them up against this culture subgroup of bikers, just bikers in general, I guarantee you the biker subgroup has had more charity interactions and more charity events than those people than all the rest of them combined.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
I'm just saying, if people give bikers a bad rap, but they do a lot of fucking charity
within the scope of also the music scene, you know, again, I have always played, you know, Southern rock, folk, metal, rock and roll. So, you know, yeah, sometimes, you know, again, especially if you're hanging out with guys from the Marshall Tucker Band or Leonard Skinner, yeah, they're bikers, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get drunk and they do stupid shit, but guess what? Guidos get drunk and do stupid shit.
Everybody gets drunk and do stupid shit.
Asian porn stars get drunk and do stupid shit.
We've got the videos to prove it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, did I say that out?
Gay Colombian midgets get drunk and do shit.
You didn't find those videos, did you?
No, I didn't find those videos.
I hid them all enough.
Well, see, this is how we go sideways sometimes. But we have that kind of relationship. She can, you know, that's what you're into, baby. Yeah, you're a cheeky witch. You got to do what you got to do. I keep it very, you know. Wonder. Well, I mean, how much wondering does one have to really wonder before the wonder is just, I don't know. What is it then?
Wonder.
No, you just, and with that, because I have to, yeah, you have bikers who go to court to support abused kids. They go in and they support kids that are bullied. Yeah, there's, you know, there are a lot of good men and women within those groups, just like there are good police officers, there are good firefighters, and there even are good lawyers. So with that, because I have to beat the witch now, I'm going to jump to a musical interlude. And then maybe we'll both be back. One of us will at least be back.
Help me.
So yeah, that was a little bit of us doing Keep On Talking. It was one of the tracks that we did down at the autism event back in September. There's a track that features a guy I know by the name of Jeff Thal on drums, myself and the Monkey on guitars, and Tony Rodriguez on bass, and my buddy Matt Brown, great vocalist, great guy all around, on the vocals. So yes, I like to throw those things, and that's one of Shiya's personal tracks that she likes, and I figured it was a fitting track for her to go out on. Yes, she's not here. I have banished her. She may return, she may not. One of the joys of having your own show, you can just basically, do that. Get the fuck out of the green room thing. But no, all joking aside, she's off running around doing some witchy thing. I think she took her phone with her, which usually means something or someone or something. Hey, that's how it works around here. It's always an adventure, always something going on. So yes, to continue with my monkey. He and I, for a few years now, have been performing together. This was another foundation event, another show Jeff Crespi graciously shot for us. And again, definitely one of my, favorite pictures for he and I together. And we just, over the years found this way to kind of sink in together. Understandably, I taught him to play guitar. He's my kid. So, those two dynamics made it easier. But, and he's even, been very honest about this, it's not easy playing in the shadow of the old wolf. I got a lot of years on him, a lot more experience and dynamics of things that, he hasn't had the benefit of yet. But let me tell you, the kid still kicks ass, and we had a lot of fun and wrote some good music together and are still writing music and performing together. Now, again, since she has returned, and I was holding off with this, this is how the witch and the monkey really feel about me, okay? So, while we're all really good at putting on a front, this is what I get.
No, you gotta do the other one at the while we're fucking around behind your back. That's the one.
Well, again, there's only so much self-appreciation that I will engage in. But yes, there's a little bit.
Monkey has definitely become my partner in crime. I am so much a child that Monkey and I can both express our childish natures, much to the wolf's chagrin. We're gonna be out being crazy, and then yeah, we go crazy. Yeah, pinball.
All right. Yes. Okay. So, by the witch's request. Okay. Yeah. See, there I am. Just trying to play some fucking pinball, and then yeah, it's a cheeky monkey and a witch.
We have fun. He is my partner in crime.
Yes.
Truly.
Yes. See, that's one of the things that we do together as a family is we go to places like pinball arcades to play old school pinball. You know what I mean? Racing go-kart.
Yes, go-kart racing.
You know what I mean? Again, the kids are all right, but you have to engage with them, okay? You have to be involved. You cannot be an absentee parent and then expect anything. Humbly. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that, and I've said this a million times, I'll say it a million times more. One of the things that really showed me your character and made you even more attractive to me as a mate was the interaction and the closeness that you and your son had. That speaks volumes.
Yes, and that's when we're just kind of floating in the breeze there kind of thing. Sometimes that east wind blows cold. So yeah, we have our cheeky comedic moments.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And, listen, he has developed his own style.
Very much so.
Yes. You can see he's got a little bit more beard, definitely a lot more fucking hair. And he's got that steampunky thing going.
I swear the boy needs to be in Pantene hair commercials. Seriously. He can do a hair flip that would make people jealous like nobody's business.
Well, I mean, again, we all have our dynamics. And let me tell you, you know what I mean? There were moments, you know what I mean, when he would step up completely. He's not afraid to get up there and sing. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to get up there and play guitar. And, for me, as a lead guitar player, having that dynamic underneath me is, for me, I'm like a little kid on a trampoline. I can bounce wherever the fuck I want, and I don't have to worry because I got my kid spotting me.
I love listening to the two of you jam. I really, really, really do. Y'all play off each other so well.
Well, again, some of this is the dynamic of, obviously years and years and years of interaction. Let me tell you, there were times and there have been moments over the years where he just gets so frustrated. He's like, fuck you, old man.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, I probably deserve it. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever become so arrogant that I'm not willing to own my part. Okay? I have my moments. Okay? I see certain things in particular ways. So I'm sorry if the dog is full on taking a shit on my floor. I don't care if it's abstract. Okay? There is shit now on my floor. I'm approaching it from that simple dynamic, okay? That's just me, okay? I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong. I'll step back. I'll take the heat. As Shiya and I were talking earlier in some dynamics, helping a mutual friend, I would rather be wrong for the right reasons than deal with the context of not trying to help, not making an effort, turning the proverbial blind fucking eye. Okay. Now, granted, there are always lines, and context being what it is, but that wasn't the case in this particular moment. But again, that perspective, that dynamic requires us to be engaged. But it also requires us to have a little bit of trust, a little bit of faith. Again, anybody who has watched their child dart out from them in a Walmart parking lot or any other public scenario knows the life-cringing fear dynamic of defensive, protective elements when it comes to said relationship with a child. I love my son incredibly. You fuck with my kid, all bets are off. I don't give a shit. Okay?
Oh.
I will say that publicly and straight up, honest. I don't give a fuck.
You made it clear when I first came on the scene that that monkey had veto power.
Well, in the dynamic, considering what my last pseudo relationship had been. No offense, and we've talked about this publicly and honestly.
I think that's
it was a package deal. Yes. And listen, when you have a situation with somebody who's single and has a child, I don't care what anybody fucking says. It's a package deal. Yes. I don't care if that child is an adult. It's still a package deal. Yes. Family is still family. There is a dynamic that has to be.
And I would have thought less of you had you not made that.
That's you.
That's me. But,
that's a credit to your witchiness.
When you're looking for somebody of character, you want somebody who you know is going to stand for their kids.
Definitely character. I'll do it again. I will. I'll do it. Anyway. Yes. So, that dynamic for us has developed. And, again, let me tell you, watching him go through his first girlfriend relationship was fucking nightmarish, but I had to bite my tongue and just be like, all right, you know what I mean? I gotta let him experience it. But, also on the flip side, when your teenage, son, has more insight in what's going on things than you do, it's usually a good sign that we need to, as adults, wake the fuck up, okay? And I had to have one of those moments. I became conditioned like a lot of people do. I was the dad, I was the parent. And when he was younger, it had to be that way because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But as they get older, they develop and they learn what the fuck to do. And sometimes they're right and we're wrong. And as Jonathan says, humbleness. We have to have humility. We have to be open-minded. Now, again, that doesn't mean if you see them getting ready to drive off the fucking cliff that you don't take and hold your line. Okay? Context being what it is, situations being what they are. But that doesn't mean that we still, even if we don't agree, that we can't be accepting. I'll use an analogy, and again, not a framework within my family, but somebody that my son went to school with and was friends with and was part of the neighborhood group of kids over the years as they grew up, had some issues because said person's family was very close-minded about their child's expression of who they wanted to be from a sexual context. And we're talking about, again, somebody who wanted to identify differently than what they are. And I'm very specifically avoiding any gender dynamics, A, because I don't want to throw them under the bus per se, in case they're hanging out, in case they're listening, or they listen to this at another point in time, but also for respect and to emphasize upon the dynamic that within the framework of sexuality and love, it shouldn't matter unless it involves you. But there's nothing more that, well, it's one of many things that actually makes me fucking crazy. But I remember watching this child have to go through that shitty aspect of disconnect, being made to feel less than, and it's a mistake. Okay, and I say that very simply, and I don't care what angle you're coming at it from, be it religion, be it morality, be whatever the fuck you want to try and talk it up to. Love, especially within the dynamic, within the framework of a parent and child, should not be reflective of the child's sexuality.
No.
Pure and simple. Pure and simple. Gina, welcome. Great to see you.
Welcome.
And that's not to get into the debate about anybody's sexuality or this or that or anything else. I'm talking simply in the dynamic within parenting and children, okay? Doesn't matter if you don't understand it, if you don't like it. If it's not something that is an active threat, okay? Again, context. If your kid comes to you and says, oh, hey, mom and dad, I identify as a junkie now and I'm shooting heroin. Fuck that. You draw the line and you do whatever the fuck you got to do because you don't want your kid shooting heroin.
Yep.
But if your kid comes to you and says, hey, listen, I don't really feel comfortable with this particular gender dynamic and I really want to identify as this, it's not like they're sucking your dick.
Well,
all right? It's not like that sexuality has anything to do, unless you're a Targaryen, you know what I mean? And then we're having a whole different conversation, and we're not even in Alabama or Texas, so we'll just say, hey.
I have to give a shout out to my niece who is raising her eldest daughter in a Texas environment and in a more conservative environment, and has been supporting her daughter's choice to be more non-binary. And you know what? I have to give a shout out to the kids that my great niece is friends with, because they are completely accepting of the non-binary and stuff too. And
the kids are becoming smarter than we ever could be, and they're understanding a dynamic that these things should not matter. Race should not be a framework.
No,
religion should not be a framework, and sexuality should not be a framework within the simple dynamic of acceptance and love. You don't have to agree. It doesn't mean that you have to go to one of their crazy orgies, okay? If you want to, hey, they may let you, but it doesn't mean you have to.
allow people to make whatever choices they want to make for themselves, so long as it's not hurting
It's the same
anybody
thing.
else.
Like, again, if you don't like what somebody's saying, don't listen to it. Okay? You don't like what's on the TV, change it. You don't like what you're reading, read something else. You don't like what you're eating, eat something else. But I think everybody can agree in the same dynamic. Nobody's going to come tell me, hey, by the way, every Wednesday, you have to suck your neighbor's ball sack. I'm going to be like, fuck you. I'm not sucking anybody's ball sack, okay? You want to suck the ball sack, go for it. I'm all for everybody's right to do what they want to do within the context, as long as it's not hurting or affecting anybody else. And when I say affecting, I'm not talking about, oh, well, it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. Go someplace else.
Look away.
Okay, you're right. Don't look.
Like, if you see somebody eating meat on Friday, let them eat meat on Friday.
Now, if I'm sitting in the movie theater and you just decide that you're going to jump across the fucking seats and freeball everybody because I just want to be... No. Put your balls back in your pants, sit the fuck down, because we paid to watch a movie.
Yep.
Time and place, context. Do that shit in your home where nobody else can see it.
There you go.
Okay? Now again, you want to go out, you want to express yourself, that's great. And when people get together and they want to express themselves as groups, that's great. However, if you want to get together as a group and express yourself by robbing a fucking store, fuck you, okay? No.
Context is everything.
Context is everything. You want to get together with a bunch of your buddies and go out to the bars and roofie some girls? Fuck you. I hope you go to prison because they have a way for dealing with fuckboys like you.
Now, see, I'm not Wiccan, but I do love the Wiccan read. And harm none, do as you will.
Right.
Don't hurt other people. Don't let other people hurt you.
But some of it's context, okay, within our culture, okay? And this is one of the frameworks, how I know my kid is all right, okay? He knows that that's fucked up and it's not something that should be done, okay? So anybody that's teaching their kid that, hey, go to the clubs, find, get a girl nice and drunk and stuff, have your way with her and stuff, and then, hey, you know what I mean, just wash it away. Yeah, that's shitty behavior and it's part of the problem, and you're a fucking asshole and you're teaching your kid how to be a fucking asshole.
Hey, fucking man.
I've gotten into fights over this stuff. I've said this type of shit. I said this shit in a fucking bowling alley once.
Oh, dear.
And let me tell you, the redneck fucking gene just fucking sprouted like fucking dandelions on a fucking June morning.
Oh, God.
They just... How dare you fuck with all masculinity? What are you? One of them hippie? I'm like, no, I'm your worst nightmare. Not only am I educated, but I'm trained in things that, quite frankly, would shock even God himself. Okay?
I have a particular set of skills.
Yes, I have a particular set of skills you're not going to enjoy. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that during those days and those years, they were before my son was born. I made a cognitive choice to tone things down and take a little bit more of a conservative path, simply for the fact that I didn't want to expose my kid to it, and I didn't want him to teach him those dynamics. I didn't want him to have to experience certain things that I had to experience. However, and I say this, that, again, no matter how hard you try, the real world still comes coming in. So despite me trying to shield him, let me tell you, that shit comes creeping up, and there were a few times my monkey had to throw down. But I can tell you this, every time was justifiable as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I always think
More
he
times
tries to de-escalate first.
Well, he tries to de-escalate first, but let me tell you, there was one time when, a couple of the older kids were trying to play, that racist card on, a kid who was smaller. And let me tell you, Monkey wasn't having it and fought them both. And didn't give a fuck because not only was the kid his friend, he wasn't going to tolerate blatant racism like that. I've seen him defend, men and women, for a variety of different reasons. I've seen him. We lived through Hurricane Sandy down on the Jersey Shore. He and I went out for a week. I ended up with pneumonia because of it, almost killed me. But we went out helping people within the community for weeks after that. And this was a kid that would give you the jacket off his back.
Truly.
To make sure you were warm, that you, and, you know, give you his sandwich so you had something to eat. Now, I can't take all the credit for that. Because a lot of times I take his fucking sandwich and eat it too. I'll be like, fuck you, it's my sandwich. I worked, I pay for it. It's all mine. I'm joking. But, you know, the kids really, you know, listen, they will learn, they will understand. To some degrees, it is, in Star Trek analogy, the Kobayashi Maru. It is the no-win scenario. It's not about winning. It is about character. It is about the development, acceptance within dynamics of things. So, yeah, it can be a little bit of nerve-wracking, but if we deny them these opportunities to learn and grow, then we're just making it worse. And again, in my humble opinion.
It's a balancing act on you know, trying to protect them and letting them forge their own way. I think you've done an awesome job as a father.
You know, it is
I'm emotionally compromised, but
it is a recipe, a lot of ingredients of, you know, time and patience and trial and error, and go back and try it again. And sometimes, you know, you get chicken parm, and sometimes you get peanut butter squid.
Yeah, no peanut butter squid, please.
Listen, someplace, somebody probably likes that. I mean, if you're a Thai food fan, you know, a peanut sauce. And you know, I'm just saying, you know,
I just can't.
Context.
I don't care.
I'm not a squid guy myself, but hey, listen, you know.
Tell you what, I'll do a free reading tomorrow night for anybody who can tell me where the reference to peanut butter squid comes from.
Oh, shit.
And the only hint you're getting is that it is an anime.
Oh. My mother's still lurking about. She's like, not.
No peanut butter squid.
Yeah, and see, and again, that was a dynamic my mother passed to me, and I passed, you know, to my son within the dynamic of cooking.
Peanut butter squid.
You know what I mean? We may disagree on how to make a correct chicken parm, but hey, that's okay. We do agree on how to make a real gravy.
Yeah. And I definitely agree that both of y'all are awesome fucking cooks, and it's just like awesome to see, especially when you guys go tag teaming in the kitchen. But you know what? All three of us tag teamed on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, that worked out. That worked out pretty nicely. We made 2 different kinds of stuffing. We did homemade, you know, mashed potatoes.
And the witch stuffed a turkey in a bag.
The witch stuffed that turkey in a bag.
And cooked it.
And cooked it. It was delicious. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little freaked out by the whole context.
I'm freaked out.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. As far as I'm concerned, putting anything in the fucking oven in a goddamn bag is problematic. And speaking of my brother Chris Miller, yes, I am nuts. Yeah. Listen, he'll testify. You know, he and I have had a couple of interesting holiday dances over the years, and you know, as I mentioned, he's godfather to the monkey and stuff like that, and you know, my kid was exposed to bikers. You know, Chris was a fucking born and bred, you know, biker for all intents and purposes, but these weren't like, again, asshole guys. These were guys that loved him, you know what I mean, that, you know, made him laugh, you know what I mean, and you know, that's been part of the dynamic, you know, for years. But, you know, Chris can attest to this as well, too, because he and I share a similar dynamic in that, and raising our sons in the process of the world around us and everything we've been through and what we believe is right. And then, you know, the kids kind of show us a different path, and, you know, we have to step back sometimes and be like, all right, yeah, you know, the kids are all right. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to let them. We got to let them figure shit out. Again, it doesn't mean we don't care. Doesn't mean that we're not involved with them. But also in the same element, you know, we can't live their lives. You know what I mean? Now, we can share dynamics and we can engage in those things together. I believe and I will always advocate, for that dynamic. But it works differently for everybody. So everybody has their own version, their own style of it. So, whatever, again, works for you, that's great. Spend the time, invest in it. You know what I mean? And remember that it isn't always about how we see it. The trick to understanding a lot of times is not about agreeing. It is simply about letting go of our constructs, our perceptions. Again, you don't have to agree to understand. Okay? You don't need to agree to empathize. Okay? You don't have to agree to be compassionate or tolerant or supportive. There is an old analogy, lead by example. Okay? Words don't always work. People need to see things. They need to experience things. You're not going to tell me what chocolate tastes like. I have to stick that shit in my mouth and taste it for myself.
I don't know the difference between chocolate and shit.
Well, I wasn't really going to go there, but hey, leave it to the witch to
be cheeky.
Listen, it's my fault. I threw a slow curveball, and you were just sitting there like,
I couldn't help it.
Oh, it's that time.
It is. If you throw a slow curveball, I've got to hit for the fence.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You had your moment.
I have my moment. I will.
Now go make me a turkey pot pie, bitch.
Okay.
You're not supposed to agree.
I don't know. Make your turkey pot pie.
Listen, didn't we already come to terms on how this role play is supposed to work?
I have turkey pot pies.
I know. I really don't. I don't want the turkey pot pie. No,
if we didn't have turkey pot pies, that we could.
I like throwing out those little pop culture references.
I would just say fuck you.
Well, yeah. That's the response I was.
No, we have turkey pot pies. I don't mind nuking you.
I don't.
If I'm not making one from scratch.
Point. Oh my god. So yeah.
Completely cheeky witch derailed.
If you wonder why I'm nuts, no, it's not really just her. There's a whole history of things that has brought me to this catastrophic point in my life where
poor
I can just sit here and I can just literally vent into the universe. Literally, for all intents and purposes, this is me standing in the middle of Route 1 at rush hour, butt-ass naked, pissing on vehicles as they pass me by.
Oh, I fucking love that analogy. Oh, that's great.
I am a golden god!
Oh, my God.
Now, again, it's important that we do these little things to maintain our self-esteem and our connection with the real world.
I love it. And no, it's not SAO, Jonathan.
Nope. 'Tis not.
That's a good guess.
So, yeah, we all have our dynamics. You know what I mean? Now, ultimately, this is just, again, and Shiya did this for us. Yes.
So, the history of this photo is I found
my son is my apprentice.
I found this little AI thing where you can turn around, put pictures in, or you can just talk into it, and it'll draw you a picture of what you want. Well, I had that great image of the father and son at the autism event. If you want to show them the original image, it'll go right over on top of it. So father and son autism event. But so I took that.
Oh, it was this. Yeah. Okay, it was this one. All right, so yeah. So that's the original picture.
The original. And I took that and I put it into this AI thing and I said Jedi. That was the only word I gave.
Hold on, wait. Okay, keep talking.
And as I put the Jedi thing in there, it came back thinking, and came up with this next image. You gotta take that one off.
Yes, and then all of a sudden.
It became this. And
I have lost my mind.
And I'm sitting over there giggling my head off and staring at my phone. And the wall's like, what are you giggling at?
hitting the wrong button. Ah! Levels going crazy.
Yep. There you go.
No, I was doing that. I know what the fuck. I was doing that on purpose. Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to adjust.
You hear that line?
Yes, that was me really losing my mind.
Yeah.
If I click it here, if I go, but do this, yeah, it's gonna. No, that didn't work.
So anyway, I'm sitting over there staring at my phone, giggling my head off. And he's like, what are you giggling at? And I showed him this picture, and he's like, oh, that's great. He loved it. So, yeah.
So that's how it kind of, it has been this kind of, adventure of, together we shall rule the universe as father and son. So, yeah. Happy birthday to my kid, my monkey.
Never
couldn't ask for a better. Couldn't ask, there's just no way, I mean, again, retrospect, none of that.
He's
Love you.
Best kid. Best kid.
Yes. So, yes, the kids are all right.
He's not really a kid. He's a grown-ass man.
That dynamic with me is never going to change. He's my only son, and that is what it is. It is what it is. So, yes. But again, we'll go back to how shy and he really feel. And I think this is a more fitting. Oh, wait. Before we do that, we have to have our...
Oh, yes.
Our solemn moment.
That was at
Take a moment of silence. All right, fuck that. Yes.
Yes. Fuck you, Kratos.
Yes, fuck you. So, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pike.
Yes.
One of the things that I have decided that not every week am I going to come out here and force the dynamic. I'll be back on through the holidays and going into next year definitively for sure. You know what I mean? Again, we had a couple things we were taking care of here. I needed a break to just kind of reset with some certain elements of just the world in general. Listen, we're gonna do a podcast about the adventures in New Orleans. I really want to get Adrienne on here. She's an incredible woman, great author. House is incredibly beautiful. So we'll talk more about that. The process of the new album is happening. Tracks will probably start coming down the pike sometime into the new year within, middle, end of January, probably at the latest. But again, the goal is to have the album pretty much done by the spring and, have it ready to go out. And as with all things, possibility, we may take this show out and play a couple shows.
That would be cool.
Now, again, I can't make any promises. Shiya may come out in a full-blown, you know what I mean, witchy kind of,
What, give me a chance to strut my stuff?
It may be not unlike the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know yet, but hey, I'm just an engineer. I'm just the guitar player.
Witchy rock.
So yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And, as again, also too, you're going to continue to be working and expanding. I know some stuff that within the mentorship circle. You want to talk about that?
I have been definitely winding a lot of cool shit out for that. We're going to continue with our tarot learning. I just did a whole bunch more journaling prompts. The group journaling and shadow work is going. And one of my next projects is going to be spells, different spells that people say, hey, I want to spell on this. So fine, we'll do one and write one up.
Yes, this is our counter to the whole fake-a-witch shit. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and it just more and more, I'm seeing it pop up in different aspects of media and stuff. But, people are just, I think, just so disgusted with all the old things that they're finding this new dynamic within magic or spiritualism or, alternative options, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Look, all the magic out there, all the witchcraft and the altars and all that, that's all well and good. But the real power is within the person. And the biggest thing, if I can teach anybody anything, is going to be how to connect with their internal power. And how they choose to use that will be up to them.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, again, and I said this in the beginning, you know, knowing a thing is imperative. I mean, it is crucial to being able to wield a thing, control a thing, use a thing. You know, if you don't know how to fucking use a hammer, what are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? Monkey smash. Well, yeah,
Right.
that works to certain degrees, but, you know, again, and it's redundant, but it is worth mentioning again. Be the Nagrul. Nice. My mother. Always count on her. And by the way, I get my humor from her. If you think I'm fucking bad, yeah.
Oh, I
You ain't heard nothing.
now, after you've met my mom, now that you've met my mom, wouldn't my mom and your mom get along like?
Well, they would definitely get along. They would be a force to be reckoned with. For sure.
Oh, I'm almost afraid.
But magic again, our understanding of things, call it science, call it technology, call it again, whatever you want, but our understanding as it grows, as it shifts, as it changes, okay, is reflective of that passage of time, the building, the accumulation, and then passing it forward. So to some degrees, we've lost certain dynamics within how we interact with the natural world, as I call it, versus obviously, you know, what now is referred to within the technological aspect. But these dynamics, we've just unlocked them. They were already there. Energy has always been there. We're just learning different ways to use energy, how energy translates, and can, in many ways, transcend aspects of our perception, be it smell, be it taste, be it feeling, be it a physical feeling versus an emotional feeling. There are layers upon layers. The spectrum is huge, it's vast. But as we get more pieces, we unlock and connect the dots to different things. Again, 200 years ago, there would have been none of this. This would have been heresy. This would have been evil. This would have been, you know, the gates of hell opening up.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the case. It's not the case. But that energy dynamic, and I use the analogy with radiation because I think it is a powerful and easy one to understand. You cannot see radiation. You cannot smell radiation, and short of sticking your tongue in radioactive material, you're not going to taste it. You're not going to hear it. It's not going to sing a song and let you know, hey, by the way, I'm here to fuck you up. You're welcome, my brother.
Now we got the shape-changing reference there.
Yes.
Okay.
Always, to the best that we can, you know, we're there if you need us. Fuck, you fucked me up, man. I lost my track. Energy, radiation. So yeah, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't hear it, but it's real, and it will fuck you up. And if you stay exposed to it, it will kill you, okay?
Yep.
That's just one form of energy, okay? So if I can pass on anything, is that there's so much that we don't know and understand that it would just be stupidity to think that radiation is the only energy that can hurt us. Okay? Because energy is just, again, based on perception. Okay? Energy within the framework of a narcissist who will be emotionally or manipulative, that is a translation of energy. Just as much as a Playboy bunny spreading her legs in a magazine is using sexual energy to get your dollars.
Yep.
Now, again, a little bit of pussy in a magazine probably isn't going to kill you, but radiation will. And the narcissist might as well, too. So, context being what it is, you have to be open-minded. You have to be aware of your surroundings. Knowledge, okay, says, hey, don't eat that mushroom or you'll trip balls. Okay? Now, you get lost in the woods and you don't have a basic understanding and knowledge of mushrooms, it's gonna
kill yourself.
It's gonna be an interesting ride. You might trip balls, you might shit yourself to death. Or you may simply starve to death out of fear because you don't know what the fuck to do. Now, that doesn't mean everybody run out and do crazy survivalist courses. But again, there is a case to be made. If you got nothing else going on, pick up a fucking book, okay? Go on Google or YouTube or the fucking Food Channel or whatever. Learn. Engage yourself. Engage the people around you, okay? Even if that is just playing pinball or Dungeons and Dragons or Call of Duty or making music or making lasagna or banana bread or whatever the case. Riding motorcycles. Loofing your cat. I don't know. Whatever works, okay?
Tell you what, I think our cat would like a loofah.
I think she would too. The point is to be involved. Engage yourself. Don't be afraid to learn. And especially, don't be afraid to learn from the kids. They have a lot to teach us. They have a lot to offer us. They are, let's be blunt, the hope and the future. So, again, common sense would say it makes sense to invest in them. Be cognitive with the things that are going on around. Listen. Sometimes it's not about talking. Sometimes it's about listening. Okay? I can talk really great, but I also know how to fucking listen when it's time. I also understand the dynamics that I will not always understand or agree. So if you come to me talking about how rough your pregnancy was, I can empathize with you, but I don't have a vagina. And I've never had anything like a bowling ball stuck in my vagina or tried to push it out of said vagina.
Oh,
Okay, and that's a lot of references of vagina, but that's just really to illustrate the point that I don't have a vagina. I have no practical frame of reference. So the only thing I can do as a man is intellectualize, empathize. Can't truly relate to it unless I decide to go under the knife, and that's, again, a conversation for another night. Does that really translate? I don't know. Personally, I'm not willing to go under the knife to find out. There are some things I will leave to other people to explore. Hey, Final Frontiers and all. You know what I mean? You want to go on that 5-year voyage? Go for it. I'm going to hang out here with the Ferengis in the bar. Okay? That's just my way. Ultimately, even if it's just in a comical, hey, fuck you. I mean, what really says I love you more than a double-barreled, not just from your kid, but from your girl, okay? I mean, again, you know, you want to talk about the dynamic
and you loved it
of
too.
trauma.
You loved it.
Yeah, but still, it's just like you both now are just like, yeah, fuck you, old man. I'm just like, wow, how did I end up in this place? But I love them both dearly. I joke.
We had to fuck with you.
Of course. Well, that's what we do. And, you know, again, some of this really is a framework of our experiences. It's reflective of our journey. For me, you can see there, I have my witch and she has me.
Aww,
you know what I mean?
I love my wolf.
But then there's just me, just kind of.
That's me catching you while you're doing
Yeah.
the thing, because I just happen to think you look cute.
But really,
That's me catching you doing your thing too.
That's, there is where, my magic really lies is within my music.
Your magic
Yes,
lies
and
in a lot
that
of
12-string monstrosity is where a lot of it is born. It'll get translated sometimes into electric stuff, but more times than not, yeah, it's just, me with an acoustic guitar and just finding the different waves and,
finding your groove.
sometimes they end up here and sometimes they end up there. Sometimes they're worth saving. And sometimes they're just meant for the moment. That's the beautiful thing about music is that and again, it goes back to the energy analogy. It has so many different forms. You can convey love. You can convey anger. You can convey confusion, lust. You can convey despair, fear, hope.
Music is primal. It's one of those things that goes directly to our soul. It's the perfect combination of art, empathy, and, believe it or not, logic and numbers. It is an absolute beautiful expression. And
but that doesn't explain, how there's a sound that'll make you shit yourself. I mean, where's that whole brown note thing factor in?
I believe that you have to check on the Mythbusters with that.
Yeah, no, I don't. Listen, I know the brown note's real. I've seen it happen.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've been on stage and I've seen it happen. Somebody hits that note and somebody just shits themselves.
Have the right combination of things, I suppose.
Well, I mean, again, it's probably, some of it's probably a genetic dynamic. If you're genetically predisposed to shitting yourself, then yeah, you're more vulnerable, to, obviously that brown note catching you to the side. But I guess that'd be the same analogy, if you found yourself in a dark alley with a classically trained ninja, your chances are, not as good if you just happen to, run into the local drunk hobo looking for spare change. The brown note is that infamous note that will make somebody literally shit themselves.
Look at Mythbusters and
just because they couldn't pull it off on Myth, that doesn't mean anything, Well, they said Da Vinci was crazy, you know what I mean? So I don't trust any of them. You know what I mean? It's all fake news. It's all bullshit. But I've seen it. I listen.
Until somebody shits themselves.
I tell you what. I've heard notes. I've heard music that's made me want to shit myself. Made me want to puke. I've heard music that I literally wanted to run out of the room screaming and kill myself because it was a better alternative than being exposed to any more of what was happening.
Wow.
Okay.
That's terrifying.
Now I'm sure we've all had that moment. You hear something and you're like, yeah, no, I don't like that. It just doesn't translate right. Does it make you shit yourself? I don't know. How many people are willing to actually step up to the microphone and just basically, yes, hi, my name is Wolf, and I shit myself. I've been shitting myself for going on 30 years now. I'm powerless. I would like to release this uncontrollable call-in to a higher power. Cheeky, yes, but hey, sometimes that's what we have to recover from. Listen, if you've ever shit yourself in public, that's a traumatic experience. It'll fuck you up. Okay? It will. It'll do things to your head and your pants, but, at least you can take your pants to the dry cleaner. It's really hard to get your brain dry cleaned. Okay? Certain things, once they hit your brain, very hard to make go away. Okay? So, context, analogy, you know what I mean? Shitting yourself in public, yeah, that's going to be a really bad memory. You know what I mean? The first time, you saw a porn star do that nasty, kind of Eiffel Tower thing, that'll burn in your brain. And now you'll never look at sex the same way again.
Horrified.
That's how it happens. But also in the same instance, you might learn some new tricks. Okay, but just remember, okay, always remember, first, make sure you have that critical conversation moment with your partner. Okay, Shiya is all about those critical conversations. Okay, so before you decide you want to stick your finger someplace where your finger's never been before, it could be, it could be, it could be something, vanilla, maybe some hot wax, maybe a little bit of whipped cream chocolate, maybe a couple of shaved baboons. You never know with these things.
Hot caramel.
Hot caramel. We'll see there. There you go. Well, 30 years of shitting myself is better than, and I've had it checked out, and there is no cure, brother. You should know. Listen, you of all people should know that. Okay? You of all people should know that. But it's all good. I don't have a problem with it. Listen, sometimes, all you can do is just smile, that it is what it is. Wash yourself off, and tomorrow's a new day.
Just rub those ass cheeks to get it clean.
But listen, again, keep it in perspective. Somewhere right now, somebody is paying somebody to shit on them. Okay? No joke.
All right.
That's a real thing. Okay? That's a real fetish. Okay?
I know there's a fetish.
Somewhere right now.
It's horrifying.
Somebody's asshole is puckering and opening up like the Death Star. Okay?
No, we're not going to do that. I'm a lumberjack, and that's okay. I work all night and I sleep all day.
But this is the world that we live in. Yes, it's absolutely gross. It's absolutely gross. But is it gross in comparison to dropping, bombs on villages of children, or any of the other horrible analogies of things that go on? Is it, as horrible as...
Always look on the bright side of life.
Is it as horrible as Milli Vanilli performing a concert, or Axl Rose basically shitting himself on stage? Because I think that's what happens every time he goes on stage now, personally. But that's, I give him credit for going out there. Keith Richards probably doesn't even have a colon anymore. He's something not quite human, so he really doesn't have to worry about it. But, again, one person's nightmare is another person's fantasy. As insane, as gross as it is, that's a real thing. There are people making lots of money right now. They're watching the clicks. Somebody just got shit on. Somebody got, it's like It's a Wonderful Life. You hear the bell, you know what I mean? You just, you hear it, you know what I mean? Yes, it's deep and it's real. And it happens.
I think you need to play the alarm sound right about now, because that's what's going on in my brain.
Well, that's just because, we're conditioned, it's horrible. You know what I mean? But again, context, if you're forced into the dynamic and, if it's, Betty White shitting on you, or a drunken gorilla that just had Taco Bell. See, me personally, I'll take Betty White any day of the week.
I mean, Betty White doing anything, she obviously does it all better.
Right.
Segue.
That I could live with more than the other horrible scenario.
Always.
Yes, these are the types of conversations that happen on Sunday mornings here in the household. And it's interesting because we segue it with, Beatles soundtracks. So we have our Beatles Sunday morning of fuckery and insanity, where we just kind of, explore the places that nobody really wants to go to. But somebody should. Well, listen, these things need to be documented for posterity and for future generations to understand that, yes, this really was a thing.
What's that old phrase? We were so busy wondering if we could do something.
No, whether we should.
Yes. Wasn't that Jurassic Park?
I'm not sure. It might be Jurassic Park. It's one of those things.
We're so busy doing the things that we wondering if we could do a thing. We forgot to ask whether we should. That was Jurassic Park.
Well, hey, we're already pretty much at the point of Soylent Green, so I mean,
It's people!
Yeah. Guns don't kill people.
Soylent Green. What do the odds be ever in your favor?
Immigrant apes with guns killed people. And I only say that because, Charlton was big with those gun guys. So, sorry. But you know what? Why am I apologizing? You know what I mean? No, it's not like Charlton Heston gives a shit. All right?
Get
So, yeah,
your
fuck
hands
it.
off me.
That's
you
right.
Damn
I
dirty
said it. Fuck Charlton Heston.
Actually, I know quite a few women that would be happy to take you up on that.
Well, that just got a little bit too no for me. He's a big Bilbo Baggins no.
You got cringy, so don't.
That's right. Yeah. You know what? Again, full disclosure, I come from the George Carlin School of Communications and
cringy.
Just basically just like, hey, you know what? Welcome to your worst fucking nightmare. I'd rather deal with it up front, as Shiya was commenting earlier. I'd rather deal with the wacky up front. It's that one-dimensional Mr. Smith shit that really's got to get you paused and worried, because those are the motherfuckers that eat people and, you know what I mean, will like detonate a dirty bomb in McDonald's or, other horrible shit, just start shooting people from hotel rooms because they couldn't get a fucking ticket to the concert, or, walking into a gay club and shooting people because they're all dressed up with nobody to blow, and since nobody wants to blow then everyone else has to die. See, that's really the mentality. And I will say this for all you fucking misogynistic fucknut fuckboys out there that just can't get your fucking head around whatever fucked up mommy complex that you have to go target other people's sexuality with violence. Oh, there's a special place in the hereafter for you.
How did we get here from the kids are all right?
Because the kids are all right, but not all of them are all right. Because
obviously the wolf is not all right.
I've been trying to push away some of like the horrible things that have been going on in the world. You know what I mean? But that one has really stood out because therein lies a perfect example. If you look in the mother and the father in this particular equation, I didn't know it was genetically possible for two pieces of shit to reproduce, but obviously somewhere along the line, we skipped a couple steps within, the whole Darwin thing. But
I love my
be that as it may, this kid was completely conditioned and fucked up between the insanity of his parents and, just like taking a big shit on us in public, they sent him out into the world for the rest of us to deal with.
Yep.
And unfortunately, innocent people, once again, paid the price for somebody else's fuckery. Now, they tuned him up. Okay? I don't know if anybody saw those pictures, but he didn't come out of there pretty. Personally, I would not have had any particular issue if, somehow magically a bar stool had gotten shoved up his ass. But hey, that's just me. I have a different path I walk. I like, one of the shows Shia and I have watched over the years, and I take a lot of solace from is Lucifer. And I like his whole concept of, punishing those who need to be punished. I think we need that dynamic. I think we need some dark Batman type of shit. Now, again, full disclosure, I'm not advocating or endorsing saying, hey, go put on a fucking cape and go fuck up some bad guys, okay? It's frowned upon. It really is. However, if you should find yourself in a situation and you're wearing black latex and all of a sudden your foot's in somebody's ass, just don't tell them I had anything to do with it. Okay? I still love you. I'll give you props. By the way, I'm not Batman, okay? I just want to publicly announce it. I'm not Batman. Just remember that. So that way when this shit goes down, You will all be witnesses for me. I'm not Batman.
No, you need to remember that.
Yeah. So, yeah, the kids are all right. Okay? Be mindful. Ultimately, what we do, what we say, it makes a difference. You may not seem it in the moment, but it does. And and it's a simple dynamic, if your actions are based from love, and I mean real love, not self-centered, what can it do for me, but honest love, then you've done right. Because ultimately, that's all we really can do, is we can love, we can be understanding, we make mistakes, we learn from them, we help each other, and with any luck, make a little bit of progress, have a little bit of fun along the way. Because ultimately, everybody has to eat Lady Death's ass in the end. Yes, that's how I decided to end tonight's show.
Wow. Okay.
So, yes, this is what you all have to look forward to. Yes, I know, I'm horrible.
Run away!
Listen, you're the one that picked that one out, so I don't know why.
I pick what
When we were going through the lady, you were like, "Oh, I really like that one."
I did.
Okay, so why do I get blamed? Why is it like I'm the pervy sage here when you're the one that does the programming for the show?
I'm not the one who decided that I need to keep that one in for all the shows.
Listen, I saw the script. I've seen it, okay? I know, okay? Don't try and put that off on me. I don't know why you want to do that. Why you can't just just own it?
No, I'm a witch. I fuck with everything.
Yes. Yes.
Here's my magic.
So, we're going to close it out tonight with a track that Brother Jonathan worked with me on. Matt Brown on vocals again. Monkey did bass. I did the guitar work. It's a little thing called Time of the Phoenix. Of course, Shiya, we've been waiting. You know what I mean? Now you're back. So we can get back to the show. I was going to end the show, but since Shiya just had to announce that sorry, she's back, now Shiya can be the focus of the end of the show. See, ironically for you, I had made Shiya that object of my dysfunction. Yes. Now you get to be. So Shiya is quite appreciative. She thanks you for sparing her that.
Yep. Now
so,
go away from Lady
again, you can see Shiya really has
we're back to
had some obsession with it. Okay. And
she's hot, but it doesn't mean you have to stay down there for.
But you keep referencing it.
No,
Hey, Lee, how you doing? Yes, no, the show is continuing on, obviously, because
Shiya's gonna go get
Shiya just really wishes death would eat her ass.
Well, I don't.
Now, I mean, again, this is a good seg. Let's have an honest conversation. Not everybody's into ass eating, but is that such a horrible thing in this day and age?
Well,
is it really? I mean, considering, again, personally, all right, if I'm given two options, if they say, okay, listen, you've got two options here. Either you can be shit upon, or you can eat that ass. I'm going to eat that ass every day of the week. Okay, I'll take my chances that way. Now, again, obviously, if the ass looks like that, it's not a difficult equation. At least for me. Now, granted, if you
have to eat it.
No. But listen, in fairness, if you identify as a beaver, you may not be into that. That may be really repulsive to you. You may be like, that's nasty. I need something with fur. Okay, so in fairness to that section of the population, you know what I mean? We have to factor that into it.
Well, I definitely think she's hot, and I would definitely spank that ass. But
well, see,
on that note,
now again, why is that on me? Why is that my fault.
It's not your fault. You're just wanting to bring it up.
No, because I know your triggers.
I'm gonna go get some food.
Well, see, I guess that, as they say, is going to be the end of it. The witch has spoken.
I'm making pot stickers and edamame. So there.
Pot stickers and edamame. All right. So I won't be eating either one of those.
Huh.
But please feel free to engage. Hey, listen, remember, love each other. Do what you can where you can. It's not always perfect. You know what I mean? We can joke around about things, and that doesn't mean, listen, you don't have to eat ass if you don't want to, but it's okay if you want to go out there and do that. Now, again, footnote, disclaimer, asterisk, quotation marks. Make sure you, as Shiya says, have that critical conversation beforehand, aka you just can't walk into some place and just help yourself to somebody's ass. It's really frowned upon. It's not acceptable, okay?
Get their permission. Make
Right.
sure that their ass is nice and bleached.
Well, listen, you know, that's like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. That's a question of taste. You know what I mean? If you're into that, you know, whole kind of, you know, it's been 3 weeks, dirty ass type of thing, or, you know, you want that, you know, artificial bleach kind of thing, that's your choice. The point of it is, it just makes sure, full disclosure, you don't just spring that shit on somebody.
Vanilla flavoring.
Well, obviously the witch couldn't resist. But that's beaver asshole, and that's a different conversation.
Caramel?
I don't know.
Hot caramel?
No.
No.
Really, you want somebody to pour hot caramel in your asshole? What the fuck? See, this is how things go sideways. It starts off all innocent and really, and now all of a sudden somebody's getting hot caramel poured into their bunghole.
I would make sure it's tempered, you know, just about the size, you know, hot wax, hot caramel.
See, now, this is where,
I can get, you know.
see, I see the FCC outside my window. This is it, folks. We're getting shut down. Game over, man. Game over.
Red alert, red alert, red alert.
Yes, Leah got it. Nice. You need to be like the Cookie Monster, asshole, that's busting the room being like, Ethel.
That's all. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
hey, listen.
on that note, happy birthday, monkey. Yeah.
Happy birthday to my monkey. Okay. We'll close out on that. Yeah, sometimes it gets weird, but again, comedy is good. Okay, comedy can deflect and change a whole lot of shit. Okay, so sometimes if it seems a little weird, a little flaky, to throw a comedic spin on it. And if all else fails, you know what I mean? If you really want to break the dynamic of a moment, you know, a situation's got you uncomfortable, just drop your pants, spread your ass cheeks, and be like, eat my asshole. I guarantee you it'll stop whatever conversation is happening. Know that you are loved. Until next time, enjoy Time of the Phoenix.
Turn back time, then I wouldn't change any life. Wonder how the time flies fast. When I say now it's almost past. Days go by, years go by, life goes by. Time to rest. I wonder how the time flies fast. The book of my life was written in stone. I never regretted all of the things that I've done. Though the are right to die. Days go by, years go by, life goes by, the times are right to die. Days go by, years go